All right, monomials and adding, subtracting polynomials. So a monomial is just a single term. It's a polynomial, and so for example, this is a polynomial 2x, or just x squared, but it's one term. If you have more than one term, like x plus 3, that's called a binomial. There's two terms there. If you have three terms, like x squared plus x plus 3, that's a trinomial, three terms, separated with a plus or a minus there. And then anything after three terms, you kind of get lazy. I mean, there are names for it, but you just say, it's a polynomial with, say, 4 terms, or it's a polynomial with 5 terms. This one has a polynomial with 6 terms, and so on. Okay? But these are all polynomials. So a monomial is just one term, binomial 2, and so on. So you can classify them by number of terms. And you can also classify them by degree. So you take the highest degree, like this monomial 11x to the 6th is a monomial, it's just one term. And the coefficient is the 11, that's the number in front. 11 is the coefficient. It's a monomial, there's one term. And finally, the degree. It's a 6th degree, 11x to the 6th power, so 6th degree polynomial. Now, polynomials, they cannot have negative exponents, so the power of a polynomial, how do I describe it? Let me give you the general form of a polynomial. Any polynomial will be in this form. And I'm going to go over here plus, like, where the an are real numbers. These are all real numbers, coefficients. And then the degree has to be a whole number. So the whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this one, for example, this negative 8 over x squared, let me write that this way, negative 8x to the negative 2. See that negative 2 cannot have a negative exponent. So this is not a polynomial at all. Okay. This one, this negative 1/4 x to the 6th, this is fine. Notice the degree is 6. So it's a whole number, and your coefficient right here is negative 1/4. As long as that's a real number, you're fine. So 6th degree again. How many terms? Just one term, so this is a monomial. All right. Now this one's kind of tricky here. Notice you have, well, the coefficient not so much. Coefficient is negative 7. There's only one term. There's no plus or minus anything else. But notice, what's the degree of this thing? Well, what you do, notice the xy squared. This is x to the 1. You add them. So 1 plus 2 is 3. This is a third degree. You add the degrees of, if you have more than one variable, you add the degrees. Okay. So this one, go ahead and try that. Go ahead and punch that into the chat there. What's your coefficient? Is it a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or neither? And then what's the degree? Put those three things into the chat. Go ahead, check yourself. 5th degree, 2 plus 3 on those variables. A squared b cubed, so 5th degree. Coefficients at 10 in front, we're a monomial. All right, when you're adding and subtracting, you have to have like terms, right? Like terms have the same variable and the same exponent. We've mentioned this before. That's the only way you can add and subtract polynomials. So here we've got negative 2x to the 5th plus 6x to the 5th. So I say, well, are they both a variable x? Yes, they are. Are they both a variable 5? Yes, they are. So can we add them? You bet we can add them. Negative 2 plus 6 is 4x to the 5th because they're like terms. Down here I say, well, the x squareds I can combine. 26x squared minus 28x squared negative 2x squared. And then notice this 4x. There's no other just x's, so I just bring it down. And then I've got a constant at the end, the plus 16 at the end. There's no other constants to combine that with. So we just stop right there. Let's go ahead and combine these terms. I'm going to distribute the plus, which doesn't do anything, so now I can just drop these parentheses. 5x squared, 6x squared, 11x squared, negative x plus x. It looks like those are gone. So 0x. And then finally plus 6 plus 7. So plus 13. So 11x squared plus 13. Let's go ahead and distribute this one here and then combine like terms. Negative 48 minus 12. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not supposed to have an x with that. Whoops. That's negative 4 times 3 is just negative 12. So negative 48x plus 24x is a negative 24x. And then we got 48 minus 12 is a positive 36. So negative 24x plus 36, which of course is a binomial, right? Binomial, there's two terms there. Negative 24x is a term, and that constant 36 is a term separated by the plus. All right, why don't you guys try this one? Go ahead and distribute that, and then combine like terms. So negative 8x squared plus 22. Check your answer there. All right, let's combine these. Now we're going to just distribute that negative through. Now we can drop the parentheses. So we get x cubed minus 6x squared plus 3x plus 8 minus 3x squared plus 4x, negative times a negative, and then negative times a positive is minus 3 on the end. Looks like x cubed. Looks like that's my only x cubed. And then minus 6x squared minus 3x squared, so minus 9x squared. And it looks like 3x plus 4x, so I got a 7x. And finally, I've got a constant 8 minus 3, so I got a 5 at the end. And notice I have, this is a polynomial with 4 polynomial of 4 terms, and it's a third degree polynomial. We actually call a third degree polynomial, that's actually called a cubic, C-U-B-I-C, if you're going to classify it by degree. So polynomial of 4 terms, cubic or third degree polynomial. All right, I'm going to have you guys try both of these. You're trying these. Why don't you check your work? Go ahead, check your work, pause it if you need to. And looks like the top one we have 1, 2, 3 terms. We got a trinomial. It's a second degree trinomial. So second degree is called a quadratic, by the way. So second degree trinomial. Next one here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Have a polynomial of 4 degrees. It looks like it's a fifth degree polynomial. All right, let's do a handful more here. Let's go ahead and distribute. And we got 24xy plus 4yz minus 20xz minus 3xy minus 3yz and plus 3xz. Okay, let's do our xy's. 24xy minus a 3xy. Looks like I got 21xy. Let's do our yz's. 4yz minus 3yz is a plus yz. And then we got minus 20xz plus 3. Negative 20 plus 3 minus 17xz. Now you can pause it here and try this next one. Check yourself on that. Make sure you're combining like terms. It means you have the same variable and same degree. And finally, let's finish off with evaluating polynomials, which is just a substitution procedure. So you can evaluate this trinomial with y being 4. If y is 4, let's replace the y with 4. So we got 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. And then we got 9 times 16. So let's see, 4 times 64 gives us 256. 9 times 16 gives us 144. So we got 256 minus 144. That gives you 112 plus 2. So it looks like this 114. And finally, let's go ahead and pause it. And you can work this one. Check this one. Go ahead, check your work on that one. Appreciate you guys watching. You can get started. I hope this is enough to get you started. Thanks. Bye-bye.